Hi, Vanessa here and welcome back to my channel. I hope you had a lovely October and I want to welcome you to November, another great reading month. If you caught my last video of Love in Other Words by Christina Lauren's book review, then you know I had left off and started Maid by Stephanie Land, which is a memoir. And this is actually a perfect read for nonfiction November if you're participating in that. Let's talk about Maid. When I had picked up Maid, I felt that immediately I had the same emotions as I did when I read The Help, which was written in 2009 by Catherine Stockett. And what I mean when I say that is I felt uncomfortable, I felt sad, and I felt heartbroken. And when I say that I feel uncomfortable, that happens anytime I feel like awareness has been brought to me and that I can't believe that I've been living under a rock and not knowing the severity of certain situations. And a lot of these books are giving voices to those certain situations that I'm becoming more and more aware of. So Stephanie Land shares with us her journey of being a single mom and raising a young daughter on government assistance. And she is at this point where she might need several programs to sustain her lifestyle. And she's trying to improve and better her circumstances, but there are a lot of challenges along the way, and not because she's not qualified, but because there are so many stipulations and conditions to adhere to. And she is not shy when she shares with us the gritty details of her personal life and what it took to climb out of poverty and to care for her young daughter. So by the title Maid, she did take up a maid job for house cleaning, and she shares with us anecdotes of her clients and also some personal stories of how she became resilient while going through what she was going through. It is a very emotional read. I felt just heartbroken all the way through. And of course, I did internet stalk her after I read this book, just to see how she is doing. And I'm really happy the way everything has turned out for her. But I do recommend this read. It is very eye-opening, especially if you live in America, just to see where people live, how they do what they do, and maybe even how we can fit in the bigger picture and help those who do need it. So Maid by Stephanie Land, I do recommend. Now, in the spirit of Thrilltober, and because thrillers are one of my favorite genres, I finally got to read The Chestnut Man by Søren. Sveistrup. Oh, I'm so bad at pronouncing author names, but this is his debut novel and I am so blown away and impressed. I picked up this book when I was at the airport on a 3-hour commute and I could not put it down. And this is quite a monster of a baby. It's like 500 pages, but it literally pulled me in and did not let me out. The Chestnut Man features a string of gruesome murders where the murderer leaves chestnut dolls at the scene, and the detectives are scrambling to kind of figure out what are the connections between these murders. And there's also a lot of a political element going on in between too. I actually had to look up what chestnut dolls were. I didn't know that was a thing, that you could make dolls out of chestnuts. So I thought that was really interesting. But all the way through, I liked that the detectives were not cookie cutter. They had issues of their own, which made it really interesting. Usually politics is a little bit dry for me, but he did such a great job weaving in the politics into this story. And I thought the twist was quite original, quite good, and I really can't wait to see more of Søren's novels. I really recommend The Chestnut Man. It was my favorite read of October. Now, I don't want you to judge me for the next read. I read this on November 1st, and after the Halloween hoopla, I started to read Christmas Shopaholic by Sophie Kinsella. Sophie Kinsella is definitely one of my auto authors, which means that anything she writes, I'm automatically going to read it as soon as I can. And Sophie Kinsella is one of those authors that I think are just so brilliantly fun and funny, and you just feel like you're catching up with an old friend, especially her Shopaholic series. If you are not familiar with Sophie Kinsella's Shopaholic series, it features a woman named Becky Brandon Nee Bloomwood, and she has a passion for shopping. And I think what makes her super relatable is all these inner monologues that she has with herself when she justifies why she needs certain things. And she creates these like scenarios that are just so ridiculous that you can't help but laugh and also wonder how she's gonna get herself out of this. So in Christmas Shopaholic, she is going to be hosting Christmas this year, and you think, oh, that's really no big deal, but in Becky's mind, Christmas means a lot of things, and her family is also, you know, as families are, have a lot of suggestions of what they want, and she's just trying to do her best to please everybody. So you can imagine all the shenanigans that she has to get up to in trying to perfect Christmas. But honestly, Christmas Shopaholic or any Sophie Kinsella book, you will just like have a whole grin on your face all the way through, especially when Sophie Kinsella does these like email chains that Becky writes to certain retailers asking for items. And again, just so ridiculous, but so fun. So I would definitely recommend Christmas Shopaholic if you want to get into the spirit of Christmas. And because we are bouncing around with genres all over the place, I picked up The First Mistake by Sandie Jones. I had read The Other Woman by Sandie Jones last year, and I really enjoyed it. I thought she was going to be the one to watch out for more of these like twisty psychological thriller books. And I could not be more right. The First Mistake, I think I picked up in the evening, and I just plowed through it before I fell asleep because it read like a soap opera. One that you are just so pulled into. And this is a rare instance where I think the jacket of the book does not do the story justice. Like when I had read it to you guys in my library haul, it's short. It's just saying that, you know, Alice is with her second husband and she's not sure if she can trust her best friend. So there might be something going on, but that did not compare to what actually happened in the book. Like, it magnified it and just added so much drama. It was so delicious of a read. For about 3/4 of the way through. The ending I was not a huge fan of, but the way that it got me there, I was so pleased. So I would definitely recommend The First Mistake by Sandie Jones. And also, if you could, get your hands on The Other Woman by Sandie Jones so you get a taste of what I mean when I say she's a fantastic thriller psychological writer. And for my next read of November, I want to thank the publishers St. Martin Press for sending me an advanced reading copy of The God Game. And I don't want to say too much about it yet because I definitely want to share more with you. The God Game is by Tobey, and just opening the cover, it was so eclectic, and I was just like, oh my goodness, this is no ordinary story. I feel like already just by the cover, I'm gonna have a pretty wild ride with this book. So I'll read you a little bit, but there's gonna be more. So it says, you are invited. Come inside and play with God. Bring your friends, it's fun, but remember the rules. Win and all your dreams come true. Lose, you die. Right, so even from that little blurb, even from the cover, I know I'm in for a wild ride when reading this book. So I'll keep you posted with this read. This book is about 500 pages, so maybe I will do a vlog every 100 pages just to share with you my impressions of the God Game. And also, it's coming out in January 2020, so mark your calendars. Thank you so much for watching. If you get a chance, please subscribe and like this video for more bookish chats. Wherever you are, I hope you're having a great day. And as always, I wish you happy reads. I'll see you in the next one. Bye.